The Legend of Jigong, Chapter 84.
We're exploring a wildly chaotic narrative involving magical pills passed through a digestive tract, a supernatural protection racket run by a speaking statue.
That part is wild.
Yeah, and high-speed magical transit that malfunctions in the pettiest way imaginable. And of course, those self-conscious assassins hiding under a bed.
And, beneath all that slapstick, there's an incredibly sharp, sophisticated cultural commentary going on.
Oh, absolutely.
The text uses these absurd scenarios to dissect the nature of spiritual power, the limitations of rigid orthodoxy, and the really surprising ways that mundane bureaucracy interacts with supernatural forces.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's dive into a world where appearances mean absolutely nothing. We are going to jump right into the middle of a massive panic attack on the side of a dirt road.
Right. Start right in the action.
Yeah, in media res. We have a Taoist priest named Ma Huantong, and based on the sources, Ma is the real deal.
He absolutely is.
He's from the Shenking Temple on Mount Tiantai. He's high-ranking. And he's currently having a total meltdown because he thinks he just committed accidental manslaughter against a beggar monk.
Which is incredibly ironic considering what Ma Huantong was actually trying to do in the first place.
Right, he was trying to help.
Exactly. He sees this impoverished, seemingly deathly ill beggar, who, we should mention, is our protagonist, the legendary monk Jigong.
Yes, Jigong.
And Ma decides to perform an act of ultimate spiritual charity. So he gives Jigong 9 of his 9-turn soul-returning pills.
Right, and the text emphasizes how precious these pills are. But I want to pause here because it's easy to just read that as, oh, he gave him some rare medicine.
Yeah, it's way more than that.
What actually is a 9-turn pill in this context? Because it sounds like it's a lot more intense than just a high-end antibiotic.
Oh, it is the absolute pinnacle of Taoist alchemical achievement.
Wow, the absolute pinnacle.
Yeah, I mean, the term 9-turn isn't just a fancy brand name. It describes the literal, grueling mechanics of its creation.
So what does that actually look like for the alchemist?
Well, in traditional internal and external alchemy, refining a substance 9 times is a process designed to align the physical medicine with the 9 heavens of the cosmological structure.
Wait, the 9 heavens, so it's tied to the actual structure of the universe.
Exactly. An alchemist would spend years, sometimes decades, refining cinnabar, herbs, and minerals.
Decades on one batch of pills.
Oh yeah, cycling them through complex heating and cooling processes over and over again. To possess even one of these pills is a mark of immense status and resources.
And he gives away 9 of them.
Right. To give away 9 of them to a random beggar on the street is a staggering sacrifice. I mean, Ma Huantong is operating from a place of intense, orthodox religious duty here.
But his good deed backfires spectacularly.
It really does.
Jigong swallows these incredibly powerful, cosmically aligned pills, and then he immediately stops breathing.
He just drops.
He drops dead, just a lifeless corpse on the side of the road. And Ma Huantong absolutely loses his mind.
Panic mode completely.
Yeah, he's standing there pacing, muttering, boundless Buddha, strange, strange.
What's fascinating here is how quickly the text subverts the established spiritual hierarchy.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, you have Ma Huantong, who possesses elite magic and deep institutional authority. He is acting as the savior.
Right, he's the guy with the decades-old cosmic medicine.
Exactly. But the moment his intervention fails to produce the expected physical result, his enlightenment basically shatters.
He loses his cool.
Completely. He doesn't accept the outcome with Zen detachment. He panics about the worldly consequences.
Like getting in trouble for murder.
Yes. He's terrified of having his own medicine turned against his karma.
Hold on, I'm struggling with that a bit. Isn't panic the completely normal human reaction to accidentally killing someone?
Sure, for an ordinary person.
Right, so why are we analyzing this as a spiritual failure on Ma's part?
Because Ma isn't supposed to be an ordinary human. He is an elite cultivator who supposedly understands the illusory nature of life and death.
Oh, I see. He's supposed to be above this kind of worldly panic.
Exactly. The text is using this extreme situation to test his actual level of attainment. And his reaction reveals that his spirituality is heavily dependent on his magic working as intended.
That makes a lot of sense. So if the spell fails, his enlightenment fails.
Right. When the mechanics of his elite alchemy fail, he has no deeper philosophical foundation to fall back on. He is just a frightened man on the road.
While the beggar is just chilling on the ground.
Exactly. The beggar, even while playing dead, is entirely in control of the power dynamic.
Okay, so the beggar is running the show without moving a muscle. It's like a modern-day street magician faking a heart attack just to see the reaction of a straight-laced passerby.
That's a perfect analogy.
So what does this all mean? Is Jigong just being a jerk? Or is this a targeted lesson for the Taoist priest about taking appearances too seriously?
It's definitely a targeted lesson.
And the setup pays off through two completely random bystanders.
Yeah, this part is great.
A guy named Chai Tu walks up to the panicked elite priest and casually says, "Hey, don't worry. Even if you killed him, I can bring him back."
And Ma is obviously bewildered. He has no idea who this guy is.
Right. Then Chai Tu turns to his friend, Du Tu, and says, "Just finish the wine. Don't leave any for the monk."
And that specific phrase is the catalyst for the entire resurrection.
Yes. The second the word wine is spoken, Jigong springs to life.
Instantaneous.
He flips up from the ground, perfectly healthy, and immediately demands, "Where's the wine? Bring it here. Let me have a drink."
Just completely ignoring the whole death thing.
Totally. And then he turns on Ma Swan Tong, grabs this elite priest by the collar, and playfully threatens him, shouting, "Good Taoist, you gave me a life-taking pill, don't you run away."
This is a concentrated, weaponized use of the profane.
Weaponized profanity.
Well, think about the monastic context you already know. The strict foundational vows prohibiting alcohol.
Right, monks definitely aren't supposed to drink.
Exactly. By using the mere threat of missing out on a drink to resurrect himself, Jigong is immediately communicating his nature.
He's showing that he doesn't play by normal rules.
Right. His power does not stem from orthodox asceticism.
But isn't that just a massive contradiction? I mean, if he's supposed to be this enlightened being, why is he faking his death just to mock a guy who genuinely tried to help him?
It seems harsh.
It honestly sounds a bit cruel. I mean, Ma Xuantong sacrificed decades of alchemical labor for him.
It is deeply confrontational, yes. But it's a targeted theological shock tactic, which is very common in Zen or Chan Buddhist storytelling.
So it's not just a prank.
Not at all. Jigong isn't just playing a prank. He is exposing Ma's fundamental attachment to external forms.
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, Ma thought he was saving a life using his superior tools. Jigong, by dying from the sacred medicine and coming back for the profane wine, is demonstrating that life, death, and salvation don't operate on Ma's rigid mechanical terms.
Wow, okay.
He is forcing Ma to confront the absurdity of clinging so tightly to rules, statuses, and even the concept of doing a good deed.
It's the ultimate deflation of ego. I mean, picture the visual here.
It's quite a scene.
You have an elite priest in immaculate robes being physically manhandled, grabbed by the collar by a filthy beggar. It completely strips away the dignity that normally insulates religious authority.
Precisely. And it sets the thematic baseline for the entire narrative.
The core theme of the whole deep dive.
Yes. The text is warning you, do not trust the packaging, do not trust the high-status titles, do not trust the precious pills, and do not trust the appearance of holiness.
Which is a perfect segue, actually, because to understand why Ma Kwanzong was even on that road with those precious pills in the first place, we have to look at the crisis brewing in a completely different location.
Right, we have to rewind a bit.
Yeah, the narrative pulls back here, and we find ourselves at the Basing Temple in Kaiwa County. And this is where Ma's martial brother, Chen Xuanliang, is facing a nightmare scenario.
This is where we see what happens when the appearance of holiness is actively weaponized.
Weaponized holiness.
Exactly. Chen Xuanliang is another serious, righteous Taoist cultivator, and he spots a massive pillar of demonic energy emanating from a nearby location, the Iron Buddha Temple.
Right. So Chen does what any classical hero does. He sees evil, grabs his sword, and goes to investigate.
As he should.
But what he finds isn't some monster hiding in a cave. He walks into a highly organized, completely public operation.
That's a spectacle.
Yeah, there's a giant Iron Buddha statue, and it is speaking to a massive crowd of desperate locals.
Because there's a plague.
Right. A plague called the swelling disease has hit the area, and the Iron Buddha is offering salvation.
The mechanics of this operation are brilliantly cynical. We learn that the mastermind behind this is a demon calling himself the Golden-Eyed Buddha Jiang Tianrui.
So it's not a real Buddha.
Not at all. And he isn't just curing a natural plague either. The text specifies that he sprinkled the disease himself.
Oh, man. It's a literal protection racket. He creates the virus, and then he sells the cure.
Exactly.
It reminds me of the most sophisticated ransomware scams today.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Like the hacker locks down your entire digital life, But instead of demanding $1 million, the pop-up from friendly tech support asks for a very manageable $50 to unlock it.
Yes.
They become the poison and the cure, and they price it perfectly.
That analogy hits the nail on the head regarding the economics of the scam.
How so?
Well, the Golden-Eyed Buddha demands exactly one string of cash in exchange for the medicine that cures the disease, under the guise of raising funds to build a new temple hall.
Just one string of cash.
Yes, one string of cash, which is typically 1,000 copper coins, is a highly calculated price point.
It's affordable.
Exactly. It's a heavy burden for a peasant family, but it is not impossible to scrape together to save a dying child.
Wow, that's dark.
If he demanded gold bars, the villagers would simply resign themselves to death, and the demon gets nothing.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The demon isn't just killing people, he's monetizing them. So he is maximizing his volume. He's farming these people.
He is farming them, yes.
Yeah?
And he's doing it from behind the visual shield of an iron Buddha.
Using their own faith against them.
Right. He is leveraging the pre-existing faith, the institutional trust that these peasants have in the iconography of Buddhism, to extort them efficiently.
That is just so cynical.
It is a massive systemic critique by the author regarding real-world religious institutions that exploit the vulnerable.
And here is where the classical hero approach completely falls apart.
It really does.
Chen Huanyang sees this happening. He sees the demonic energy coming out of the statue's mouth. He draws his sword, charges in, and attacks the anomaly head-on.
A very straightforward attack.
And he is instantly, brutally defeated. Like a blast of black gas shoots from the Buddha's mouth, hits Chen square in the face, and he goes down hard.
Down for the count.
He's paralyzed, his body turns purple, and he is helpless on the ground.
We have to analyze why Chen fails here.
Because he's obviously powerful, right?
He possesses martial skill and orthodox magic, but the text is making a point, which is that you cannot defeat institutionalized systemic corruption just by swinging a sword at it.
Oh, I see.
Chen acts as an individual hero trying to slay a monster, but the evil he is facing is entrenched within his system of extortion masked as holy charity.
It's too big for just one guy with the sword.
Exactly. His straightforward righteousness is structurally inadequate.
That is such a bleak moment. The good guy plays by the rules and gets totally flattened by the bad guy who is wearing the uniform of a saint.
It's devastating for him.
So Chen is paralyzed on the ground, slowly dying from this purple demonic gas. The Golden-Eyed Buddha gets the report that this meddling Taoist has been incapacitated, and the demon decides to end it.
He wants to finish the job.
Yeah, he plans to drag Chen to the back of the temple and execute him to pull up the grass by the roots.
The stakes are absolute at this moment. The conventional hero is about to be murdered. And yet, the rescue doesn't come from a magical counterattack or a sudden power-up.
Not all.
It comes from the most remarkably mundane source imaginable.
It's almost jarring how ordinary it is. Just as the demon's henchmen are about to drag Shen away, the local county magistrate, a man named Zheng Yuanlong, coincidentally walks into the temple courtyard to burn incense.
And the entire supernatural assassination plot grinds to an immediate halt.
Just like that. The magistrate sees Chen on the ground. Because the magistrate actually knows Chen personally and knows he's an upstanding citizen, he simply points and says, "Bring that Taoist back to the government office with me."
And Jiang Tianrui, this incredibly powerful demon who was seconds away from executing him, just backs down completely.
He just gives up.
He says, all right, let the magistrate take him.
Okay, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it reveals the fundamental hierarchy of the cosmological world the story inhabits. But wait, I have to push back here.
Sure, go ahead.
Why on earth would the demon care? This guy is the Golden-Eyed Buddha. He just unleashed a biological weapon on an entire county, and he shoots paralyzing black gas out of a statue.
Right, he's incredibly dangerous.
Why doesn't he just gas the local county clerk and be done with it? What power does a local magistrate really have against a demon?
Well, it's not about the physical power of the magistrate, and it's certainly not about his local guards.
What is it about, then?
It's about the metaphysical weight of bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. Really?
Yes. In this worldview, the mortal government is a direct reflection and extension of the celestial bureaucracy.
Oh, like a mirror of heaven.
Exactly. The emperor holds the mandate of heaven. Therefore, a magistrate, as an appointed official, carries a fraction of that cosmic mandate within his jurisdiction.
Wait, so his paperwork literally has magical authority?
Exactly. The magistrate possesses an institutional aura of official righteousness.
That is so cool.
Demons operate in the margins. They rely on deception and local terror. But if a demon were to overtly attack and murder an appointed government official, it would escalate the conflict from a local haunting to an act of direct cosmic rebellion against heaven and earth.
Ah, so it's a jurisdictional issue.
Precisely. If Jiang Tianrui kills Magistrate Zeng, he isn't just dealing with local cops anymore. He instantly triggers the celestial alarm system.
Like the feds show up.
Right. The local city god, the heavenly generals, the divine enforcers, the entire supernatural federal government would descend upon him.
And he doesn't want that kind of heat.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The demon is running a highly profitable, low-profile racket. The absolute last thing he wants is to draw the attention of the celestial authorities.
So he just folds.
So he yields to the mundane bureaucracy. The governmental structure acts as a passive but completely impenetrable shield against supernatural violence.
That is fascinating. The sheer banality of the rescue is its power. I mean, it's like a supervillain is about to execute James Bond, but he has to stop because the health inspector suddenly walked in.
That is exactly what happens.
So the magistrate takes the paralyzed Chen back to the Yamen, the government office. And the conversation they have there perfectly illustrates this boundary.
It really highlights the rules they play by.
Chen wakes up enough to explain what happened, admitting that the demon's magic is simply too strong. And the magistrate doesn't vow to assemble an army or launch an investigation.
No, he's very practical.
Right, he asks a very pragmatic question. He says, "Are you sure it's a demon? What should we do?"
Right, and when Chen says he needs to invite his own master to catch the demon, the magistrate immediately agrees and sends Chen back to his own temple.
It's such a clear delineation of lanes. The magistrate has the authority to stop a murder in his physical presence, but he knows his local laws don't apply to a demon shooting black gas.
It shows mutual respect for boundaries.
Yeah.
The demon respects the boundaries of mortal governance, and the mortal government respects the boundaries of magical warfare.
The magistrate effectively says, "I use my institutional power to save your life, but you need to take this supernatural gang war back to your own turf."
Exactly.
So Chen is transported back to his temple, safe from being stabbed, but he is still slowly succumbing to the purple, swelling demon gas.
He's still dying.
Yeah, he needs elite magical help to cure the poison. His own master, Zhongfeng Taiyu, is too far away on Mount Tiantai. So he sends his young disciples to a closer location, Longyu County, to fetch his senior martial brother, Ma Xuantong.
And he specifically requests the magical 9-turn soul-returning pills.
Which perfectly closes the loop of our timeline.
Yes, this is exactly where we started.
This is why Ma Huantong was rushing down that dirt road with the pills. He receives the urgent message, grabs the medicine, hurries toward his dying brother, but bumps into the supposedly dying beggar, Jigong, along the way.
And we already know how that turned out.
Oh yeah. Ma gives the pills away, Jigong fakes his death, comes back for wine, and thoroughly humiliates him.
But the crisis isn't over.
Right. Ma Huantong realizes he still has a brother dying of demon gas, and he no longer has his precious pills.
He's empty-handed.
Furthermore, this chaotic monk, Jigong, announces that he is also heading to the exact same temple, and casually asks Ma to carry him using his magical travel technique.
This initiates a sequence that deeply contrasts two completely different paradigms of spiritual power.
How so?
Well, Ma Kuan-tong agrees to take Jigong, using a specific Taoist spell called Footwind, or Riding the Wind. But he gives the eccentric monk one non-negotiable instruction.
Keep your eyes closed, and whatever you do, do not open them.
Yes.
I mean, it's like telling a toddler not to push the big red button. You know exactly what is going to happen.
It's inevitable.
So they take off, zooming through the air, wind rushing past them, and mid-flight, Jigong just pops his eyes wide open and shouts, "Oh no! The wind is leaking! Taoist priest, you better stop!"
And because Jigong broke the strict mechanical rule of the spell, the magic instantly fails, and he plummets out of the sky.
Just falls right down. Ma Xuantong is furious and panicked about his dying brother. He decides he cannot waste another second dealing with this chaotic beggar who just sabotaged the flight.
He has to go.
So Ma pushes his magic to the absolute limit, abandoning Jigong, and speeds straight to the Beixing Temple.
But the punchline awaits him.
Oh, it does.
When Ma finally arrives at the temple doors, completely exhausted from pushing his footwind magic to the maximum, Jigong is already there.
Not just there. He's lying on the front steps, taking a nap.
Just casually sleeping.
When Ma approaches, panting and sweating, Jigong wakes up, stretches, and says, "What took you so long?"
We need to look at the mechanism of this failure.
Why the spell failed in the first place?
Yes. Ma Kuan-Tong's power is entirely rigid and rule-bound. It requires specific conditions, closed eyes, harness wind, immense physical and spiritual exertion.
Very strict parameters.
Exactly. If a single variable is altered, the system crashes.
It's the difference between coding a complex system from scratch versus having root access.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, I use an analogy of a highly trained athlete with expensive gear being outrun by a guy in flip-flops holding a sandwich. Ma is writing thousands of lines of brittle code where one missing semicolon one open eye crashes the whole program. Jigong doesn't code, he just has admin access to the universe.
Right, he bypasses the code entirely.
He clicks drag and drop, and he's at the destination taking a nap.
That's a brilliant way to conceptualize it. Jigong's power is effortless and instantaneous.
It really is.
Beating the stressed-out, elite flying priest to the destination by simply showing up asleep is the ultimate demonstration that true enlightenment transcends the mechanical rules of orthodox magic.
But the humiliation of Ma Kuan-Tong doesn't end with a foot race. This leads us to the moment that is, honestly, hard to believe is actually in the text.
Oh, this scene.
The infamous pooped pills scene.
It's perhaps the most philosophically profound and simultaneously vulgar moment in the entire chapter.
So Jigong looks at Ma Kuan-Tong and casually explains, "Hey, after you dropped me out of the sky, I had to use the restroom.
Right.
And wouldn't you know it, I pooped out all 9 of your precious 9-turn pills completely intact. Here, you can have them back." And he physically offers the recycled pills to the priest.
From a cultural and literary standpoint, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of the desecration happening here.
It's massive.
We established earlier how sacred, difficult to produce, and cosmically aligned these alchemical pills are.
Decades of work.
Yes, they represent the absolute zenith of purity and spiritual elevation. By passing them through his digestive tract and offering them back, Jigong is dragging the highest symbol of Taoist orthodoxy through the base scatological reality of human biology.
Okay, but let's talk about Ma's reaction.
Yes, his reaction is key.
Because if someone hands me medicine and explicitly tells me it just took a tour of their lower intestines, I am not taking it.
Obviously.
I mean, if a guy hands you medicine he just passed through his digestive tract, you don't say, "Oh, good, the color held up." You run away. I am recoiling in horror. But Ma takes them.
And that reaction is the trap Jigong set for him.
Ma takes the pills, examines them closely in his hand, and thinks to himself, "Wow, how strange. They are exactly the same and haven't changed color." And he puts them back in his pouch. He accepts them.
This moment entirely exposes the flaw in Ma Kuan-Tong's spiritual worldview.
How so?
He is a prisoner of the superficial. He judges the purity, the efficacy, and the sacredness of the object purely by its external appearance.
Just how it looks on the outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The pills didn't change color, therefore, to Ma, they must still be pure. He completely ignores the horrifying contextual reality of what just happened to them.
It's mind-boggling. Jigong proves that Ma's spirituality is literally skin deep. If it looks shiny on the outside, Ma will accept it, regardless of the profound contamination it just experienced.
Jigong is teaching a brutal lesson here.
Which is?
True spiritual efficacy is not found in clinging to unblemished appearances or shiny objects. If your faith is entirely invested in the physical perfection of a pill, your faith is easily compromised.
So Ma, carrying these heavily traumatized pills, finally enters the temple with Jigong right behind him.
Now they have to deal with the actual crisis.
Right. They head to the Crane Pavilion, a room where Chen Xuanliang is lying on a bed, groaning in absolute agony, swollen and purple from the demon gas.
He's in terrible shape.
We have seen traditional magic fail. We've seen bureaucracy pause the violence. We've seen elite alchemy desecrated. Now it is time for Jigong's specific brand of salvation.
Yes. Ma Kuan-Tong approaches his suffering brother and essentially says, "I brought the 9-turn pills, but I gave them to this monk, and he excreted them."
Just drops that bomb right there.
However, they still look fine.
And I have to give Chen Xuanliang credit here. He's dying, but his reaction is completely grounded. He immediately refuses.
He won't touch them.
He says, "Too dirty, I'm not eating that." He still has some baseline standards.
Which is completely fair.
And this rejection opens the door for Jigong to step forward and offer his own unique medicine. Jigong reaches into his filthy rags and pulls out something he calls the leg-stretching, eye-glaring pill.
We have to unpack the linguistic paradox of that name.
Okay, let's unpack it.
This raises an important question. Why does Jigong use such vulgar methods to heal? The name, leg stretching eye glaring, or Shen Tu Dangyan. In Chinese colloquialism, stretching out your legs rigidly and glaring your eyes is a direct description of the physical act of dying.
Wow, really?
Yes, it describes the final rigor mortis and the fixed stare of a corpse.
It sounds like he's offering him a suicide pill. Like, hey, I see you're suffering from demon poison. Here, take the drop-dead pill. It'll clear that right up.
It forces the patient to confront their fear of death. The name implies absolute finality, yet is the very substance that brings life and cures the supernatural poison.
That's a wild paradox.
It demands complete surrender from the patient.
It-
And the actual mechanism of the cure is incredibly deliberate in its vulgarity.
Right, because Chen eats this ominous pill, and almost instantly his stomach starts rumbling aggressively. The text actually says, gulu, gulu.
It's very descriptive.
He has to be physically supported out of the room to go to the outhouse. He goes to the bathroom twice. And when he comes back, the purple swelling is completely gone, the pain has stopped, and he is fully cured.
Notice the contrast here. The demonic gas was ethereal, mystical, and terrifying.
Yeah, it was dark magic.
Jigong's cure grounds the magic entirely in gross, biological reality. He counters mystical dark energy with a magical laxity.
A magical laxative.
He forces the supernatural poison out through the most mundane, unglamorous bodily function possible.
It completely demystifies the demon's power. You don't need a glowing sword or a complex alchemical ritual to defeat the dark magic. You just need a really intense trip to the toilet.
It strips away all the mystique.
It's hilarious, but it structurally strips the demon of its intimidating aura.
It is a profoundly grounding philosophy. It asserts that evil, no matter how much it cloaks itself in mystical terror, is not immune to the ridiculous, messy realities of physical life.
But the chapter doesn't let us rest on a successful bathroom trip. Because while all this medical drama has been happening, the groaning, the argument over the pooped pills, the loud stomach rumblings, there is a secondary, incredibly tense plot happening simultaneously in that exact same room.
And it has been happening literally right beneath them.
The text reveals to the reader that hidden under Chen Wanliang's bed, the entire time these monks and priests have been talking, are two heavily armed assassins.
This brings us back to the villain, the golden-eyed Buddha Jiang Tianru.
The demon from earlier.
Remember, his initial attempt to execute Chen was thwarted by the arrival of the magistrate. But Jiang is determined. He hires two Greenwood bandits outlaws staying at his temple to break into Chen's room under the cover of night and assassinate him.
They jumped the wall, sneaked in, and hid under the bed, waiting for Chen to fall asleep. They are lying there, clutching their swords, holding their breath while Ma and Jigong enter the room.
It's a highly tense setup.
And these aren't just random thugs. They have terrifying martial arts titles. One is named Sheng Yang, known as the Copper-Headed Arhat. The other is Cheng King, the Black Cloud Leopard.
We have to stop and appreciate the razor-sharp irony the author is employing with these names, specifically the Copper-Headed Arhat.
Okay, why that one?
You understand the profound spiritual weight of the Arhat title in Mahayana Buddhism. It signifies a perfected being, someone who has achieved total nirvana, absolute detachment from worldly desires.
One of them is literally called the Copper-Headed Arhat. An Arhat is a Buddhist enlightened being, and here he is, an assassin for hire by a fake Buddha hiding under a bed.
Yes, the author assigns that deeply sacred title to a cutthroat mercenary currently cowering under a sick man's bed, clutching a knife, waiting to commit murder for hire on behalf of a demon calling himself a Buddha.
It's just layer upon layer of fake holiness.
It isn't just a joke, it is a pointed theological critique. The text is relentlessly showing us how titles, terminology, and appearances are co-opted by the corrupt to mask their base, violent nature.
So paint this picture in your mind. The room has finally gone quiet. The tension of the illness is broken because Chen is cured. The assassins under the bed are probably gripping their swords tighter, thinking, okay, the medical emergency is over, the weird monk will leave, they will go to sleep, and we will strike.
They think their moment has finally arrived.
And in that heavy silence, Jigong casually sniffs the air.
He acts like a sommelier tasting a bad vintage.
Exactly. He sniffs, and he announces to the room, there's a smell in here. It's a thief smell. It hurts my nose.
The two Taoist priests, Ma and Chen, are completely bewildered. They have no idea what he is talking about.
They just think he's being weird again.
But the reaction from the highly trained killers under the bed is absolute comedic gold.
It is my favorite moment in the entire text. Jigong, the terrifying copper-headed Arhat, hears this, and he actually turns to his partner in the dark and whispers, "Hey, do I have a smell on me?"
It's incredible.
He genuinely becomes self-conscious about his personal hygiene in the middle of a Black Ops assassination.
It entirely shatters the dramatic tension. You have a life and death scenario, a culmination of demonic plotting, and it is derailed by a sudden crisis of body odor.
You have a high-stakes assassination setup shattered by a joke about body odor. And Jigong doesn't even bother looking under the bed. He just answers their whispered conversation aloud from the middle of the room.
It just talks right to them.
He says, "You two have no human smell, roll out." And the bandits, realizing they have been completely busted by a guy who was just sniffing the air, absolutely panic.
They lose all their nerve.
They scramble out from under the bed, drawing their swords and scaring the living daylights out of the two Taoist priests who had zero idea they were sharing a bedroom with assassins.
It is a brilliant climax because it resolves a physical threat through perceptive absurdity. Notice that Jigong doesn't use an intricate revealing spell or a martial arts technique to expose them.
No magic required.
He uses a crude sensory metaphor.
The thief's smell and the lack of human smell.
Yes, on a literal level, it's a joke about them stinking from hiding in a dusty, confined space. But metaphorically, he is stating that by acting as cowardly murderers for a demonic extortionist, they have lost the scent of humanity.
They've become something less than human.
They have severed their connection to their moral center. They lack human smell because their actions have rendered them inhuman.
And the chapter ends right there, on an incredible cliffhanger. The bandits jumping out, swords drawn, and the narrator asking, how will the Arhat use his Buddhist magic to catch the thieves? Find out in the next chapter.
It's a great hook for the next part.